Welcome to Wine Wire, everyone, and welcome to the place where you can find wine you only find in restaurants. My name is Adam, and with me today is my very special guest, Eleanor Kosman, who is the president of the South African Wine Society. Eleanor, South African Wine Society.
That's right.
What is it?
Well, Adam, it's actually quite terrific. We've been in existence for about 20 years now.
Okay.
And it's a non-profit organization, and what we do is we try and promote South African wines with different tastings and dinners to the public.
So really, it sounds like this organization's objective and goal is to bring people in touch with South African wines.
Absolutely.
And not only just sort of like as lip service, but get them to taste them as well.
Very much so.
You know, I'm probably a typical wine person. When I think of South Africa, really the only thing that comes to my mind is Chenin Blanc and Pinotage.
That's a long time ago.
I know. I don't get out much, Eleanor, so really, I need to be enlightened by this. But I understand, I mean, there's a lot more going on in South Africa than just those two things.
Well, firstly, I think what we should realize is that although the LCBO does classify South Africa as a New World wine, it's actually been in existence for over 350 years. And in fact, we celebrated in 2009 350 years of winemaking skills by South Africans.
Really?
So that's really quite something. So they kind of, in a way, get stuck in the limbo. When you'll notice when a South African winemaker uses the term Syrah as opposed to Shiraz, he's doing it in the old style, and those who call it Shiraz are doing it in the new style.
Really?
Yes.
So there is actual meaning to that.
There is.
So is South African wine, you know, it has a long history, and I
Yes,
had no idea that it was
350
years, but is it really a connection to its European roots? Because South Africa is kind of this whole mixture of immigrants from England, from Netherlands, from Belgium, from Germany.
Very much so.
So do you see, because what I wanted to sort of get into is there must be a huge variety of wine styles that are being produced because of the ancestry.
Very much so. Today, as I mentioned earlier about the Shiraz, we're making amazing Shiraz because of the different terroirs. I mean, I'm well aware that people like yourself have probably heard of Paarl and Stellenbosch. Well, there are all these others. There's Constantia, which was the original where Simon van der Stel landed.
Really?
Yes, and that's the original.
So that's where where wine was first made in South Africa.
Absolutely, yes. And in fact, Cape Point, one of the up-and-coming vineyards, because of the beautiful cool breezes from the Cape Point area, they make incredible Sauvignon Blancs and Semillons. And then you'll get the Walker Bay area where we have amazing Pinot Noirs, such as Hamilton Russell and Bouchard Findlayson. And then you'll get to the Swartland, which is a really up-and-coming area these days. It's on the west coast, very, very hot, very, very dry. And I don't know if you're aware that vines actually like to be treated badly. Because this way they develop
I may have something in common with vines then, because, yeah, exactly.
And so that's where you're getting really, really outstanding Chenin Blancs, Chardonnays, Sauvignon Blancs. Merlot is also a very up-and-coming brand. Specifically in the cooler areas, otherwise it does get a bit too warm.
So you have a huge variety of climatic areas.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, this is the thing. You have to be very careful when you think about when you simplify wine being produced from a country. South Africa has so many different microclimates that produces so many different styles of wine and so many different grape varietals. And really, over the past, I mean, from what I've been reading and from what I've talking to you, is, you know, getting my education of South African wine. South African wine, in terms of the attention to detail in production, has really taken huge strides over the last 15, 20 years.
It's changed enormously.
Yeah.
You know, for example, let's discuss Chenin Blanc. Years ago, Chenin Blanc was like the workhorse. In fact, its alias was called Steen, S-T-E-E-N, which is Afrikaans for brick, which is like really a workhorse, right?
So
brick
like,
keeps the house together.
Yeah.
And it was used in a semi-sweet wine to give it some acidity, or it was used to make brandy. And in fact, at one stage, it was the most planted grape, but at a very poor level. And the farmers eventually started pulling it out because they just couldn't do anything with this once people had decided they didn't like that inexpensive, cheap Lieberstein. And then things changed and evolved, and now those same vines, which thank heavens not all of them were pulled out, because they are such old vines, you're actually getting incredible Chenin Blanc from these old wines.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So before we taste, because you brought a fantastic Chenin Blanc
did
that we're going to
actually.
taste,
Yes.
but you mentioned that the Wine Society has events that are open to the public. You have one coming up.
We do actually. On May the 27th at the Toronto Women Tennis Club, we have a wine tasting open for our members and the general public. $45 is the entrance fee, and you will be tasting wines from 12 different agents, which should be really spectacular because these wines, the majority of them would be what we call consignment wines, so they're not available in a liquor store.
But they're available here.
Through WineWire.
So
Yes.
we're going to put a link to the event on our Facebook page. We're also going to link the event off of our newsletter. So if you want more information on the event, it is coming up May 27th in
Yes.
Toronto at Toronto Lawn.
6 to 8 at night.
Perfect. And I highly, highly recommend that you check it out because it will give you a huge taste, a variety that the South
That is
Africa's
true.
made. So, speaking of tasting, we have a Chenin Blanc. Eleanor, do you want to introduce the one?
Yes, I do. This is the Chenin Blanc from Ridgeback Winery, which is in Paarl. And it's Ridgeback, the name actually is kind of cute. The owner, Vernon, there we go,
Go ahead.
absolutely loves dogs. And he's originally from Zimbabwe, and he owns 3 Ridgebacks. And Ridgeback, the actual Ridgeback dog, is the original South African dog. Well, African, really.
Yeah.
And so when he named the farm, he decided, I love my Ridgeback dog so much, we'll call it Ridgeback. And ironically, the winemaker, Toit, also comes from Zimbabwe. And so it was a natural fit. That sort of, we have this whole Zimbabwean connection with Ridgeback. They make what I consider a really outstanding Chenin.
Well, listen, the Chenin Blanc is one of my favorites.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to hear that.
And so this Chenin Blanc is beautiful pineapple and cantaloupe and lots of citrus on the nose. It's quite refreshing, but absolutely, I love that kind of floral, tropical fruit nose to it. But the palate, I'm hoping the palate's got a little bit. Good acidity.
It is.
You know, considering it's from a warm climate, but again, tons and tons of citrus.
And you get that sort of middle palate as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, South Africa is definitely not a 1 or 2 trick pony. There's a lot going on. This Chenin Blanc is absolutely delicious. It is available through WineWire. It is, what is it?
$20.
$20 a bottle. $20 a bottle, and we happen to know the agent. She'll be able to deliver it directly to your house. A link to this wine is directly below the video. Eleanor, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for sort of enlightening us on South African wine. And please, please, please check out the Wine Society, South African Wine Society event on the 27th of May. It should be a excellent, excellent evening.
Yes, and also our website in general for more information.
Perfect.
www.southafricanwinesociety.ca.
We'll put a link to the website as well on our Facebook page. Anyone else, Rose, before we...
Oh, just that I don't know how many people are aware, but there are virtually approximately 600 wineries in South Africa at this moment.
All producing excellent wine.
All producing amazing wine.
That's awesome. Guys, please check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/winewire. Our Twitter name is @winewireca. We're always posting good stuff, including events like Eleanor's, so come check us out. Until next time, please drink well, and we'll see you in a couple days with a brand new episode.